So 14th February is normally celebrated the world over as Valentine's Day, but if you're a football fan, there's only one thing you're looking forward to this Valentine's Day, and believe you me, it isn't a date with your beloved, it's a date with the Champions League, because the Champions League is back. It's been a long hiatus, and it feels like a longer hiatus because you had a World Cup in between, you had manic transfer windows in between, and you've seen a lot of forms of clubs go up and down like crazy.
Forms and fate as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. But we're here to discuss and debate, maybe disagree, maybe agree, who really knows, who would be the favourites going into this particular round. Because again, round of 16 is the time where, the business really starts to pick up. You're at that point in time where, it's either boom or bust. You're not, there's no second chances like in the group stages. It's now or never, and there's going to be a lot of clubs very keen to not just actually get their names on the Champions League trophy, also kind of, use it to boost their profiles. Again, you'd say there's a Man City there
there's a PSG there.
There's a Bayern there who haven't won it in 2 years?
There's a Chelsea there as well.
Who have half a different squad.
Who but have a decent showing when it comes to number of trophies, and they don't feel lost anymore in the competition, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2 times winners now, and but there's a 14-time winner as well.
There's a Real Madrid there, and it'll be a rematch of last year's final.
Yes.
Against them versus Liverpool. That of course is next week though. This week, remember how it is. There's 2 matches on Tuesday and Wednesday, so that means 4 matches. So the round of 16 is going to be going on for like about a month pretty much, because then next week you'll have the return legs being played and whatnot. So there's plenty of action to go around.
So while we speak about things changing, the complex nature of the schedules is also one thing that has changed.
Oh my God, yes, it's a very, very hectic, manic schedule, because of course it is a manic schedule at the best of times. You drop in a Winter World Cup in between, the death of the Queen, and there's so many fixtures that had to be rearranged. So in that sense, there's plenty of moving parts really. Don't forget City. We were talking about City. City are dealing with a lot of turmoil back home.
With the Premier League.
Yes, they've been accused of breaking 100 different rules.
100 breaches. Yes.
100 breaches of Premier League regulations.
I'm pretty sure they won't be winning the Champions League anthem.
Definitely not. That's the one anthem they'll probably be cheering.
Exactly.
I didn't even know the Premier League had an anthem until they started booing it. I'm like, what is a Premier League anthem? Who knows? Then they're booing it. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, whatever floats.
At least Chelsea fans were heard for once. If I can say that.
You mean City fans? Why bringing us into it? What did we do?
City fans.
Yeah, but they're of course annoyed. Don't forget though, through all the all-conquering success that they've had, one thing that's eluded them is the Champions League. They've been to one final in which, ironically, it was Chelsea only who denied them. The All-English final. So, again, they I think have the easiest round, one of the easier
playing
fixtures.
Porto, right?
No, they're playing RB Leipzig.
They're playing Leipzig.
And Leipzig recent times have been a bit of an up and down side. Yes, they do have some good players. I think, but
they're just 5th in the Bundesliga, but form not really there.
Form is not really on their side.
Speaking of form not really City's way as well. They're not hitting top gear, or they don't look as fluid as they did, let's say, in the initial half of the season. So, but if there's a winner over here, who would
you'd be hard pressed to pick anyone but City in this particular match. I mean, goes without saying, Leipzig, and Leipzig actually weren't helped by the fact that they lost a couple of players in the summer itself. Don't forget, someone like Sabitzer went to Bayern. Now, of course, he's come to Manchester United on loan because he barely got any game time at Bayern. But they've lost some key players. Wasn't that easy to rebuild. Of course, they do have Guardiola.
Yeah, and you've got.
Timo Werner's another one. Rediscovered a lot of his form at Leipzig.
To an extent though, but
to an extent.
But looking at how shaky City have started to look at the back,
they don't look invincible.
They don't look invincible. They don't look indomitable anymore. There is like a few lapses that we've seen in the midfield, in the defense as far as City goes. I think last game week, in the Premier League, the goal that they conceded, clear howler there from Edison, no coordination between him and Rodri. And but again, I think between the two, I think it's an easy pick here. It should be City.
Absolutely.
Because they almost ran riot against Villa the other day, scoring 3 goals in quick time. So City, if they click on their day,
hard to beat. But for me, I think the match I'm looking forward to the most in the match is going to be happening not just this week, but tonight.
Yeah.
PSG versus Bayern Munich. Oh my goodness. Any match screams superstardom. It's that match right there. There's new rich versus old rich. Incidentally, both have links to Qatar.
They do, but what Real Madrid could, what Bayern in fact could be saying is that we're richer when it comes to history as well.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
that's something that PSG can't say right now.
PSG, I think they've only existed for like 50 odd years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're historical.
And the club even lesser.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if you're thinking about it, Bayern definitely the big side there, and they're going to be helped by the fact that there's no Kylian Mbappe on the other side.
There are rumors that Messi.
Yes.
There are rumors doing the rounds that Messi, with that injury, may not be available for tonight's game. No clear comments though, so a lot of mind games as well.
Rumors at this point.
It's just rumors at this point. But will he be fit for the match? We'll have to wait and watch. But he will and could be the difference maker if he does set his foot on the pitch, because he's been in sublime form.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's got about 14 goals and 15 assists, if I'm not wrong. Something like that. His numbers read as far as this Bundesliga, Bundesliga
you
season
mean the
goes.
Liga?
The Liga season goes. So he'll of course be somebody you'll want to have special plans for. But let's just get down to picking a winner between the two for tonight's game. Let's say. I think it's tonight's in Paris, right?
I think it's in Paris. I'll have to check that, since I'm not very sure myself where a lot of these matches are being held. Let's see. Where is today's match being held? It's in Paris. I think, you would fancy then, the Parisians, to actually get that particular match in the bag. Maybe a 2-1 win. But again, 2-1 in today's day and age means nothing, especially with no away goal rule. So 2-1 means you can see Bayern very much go for the juggernaut when they're at the Allianz Arena in Munich.
Yeah.
I think that will be a big this thing. But I think this time Paris might slightly edge it. But no Mbappe,
I still feel exactly. If there is no Mbappe Messi tonight, and given the fact that they lost, I think 3-1 this weekend.
Against Monaco, they had a very weak squad due to getting some sort of a illness bug.
Yeah. So not quite sure on the team news as far as who will be available or not, but their form has been shaky of late, especially after the return from the World Cup. PSG haven't really been
lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, with the kind of football that we've seen them play, and we know they can play some good football and some menacing football at that. But none of that has been the scenario.
Not yet.
There's not that one person anymore that you can go to for a goal. Yes, some good team performances we've seen, but there's no main man per se now.
Exactly. And that hurts them.
Which hurts them because they are used to, playing around a player. They're used to playing around.
They're used to playing around three superstars.
Superstars. So exactly, when you don't know who to play it to, well.
But we can't discount Neymar at this point. Who knows? The thing is, the other argument which is made is that a lot of the time these guys, because there's three superstars, you might be one inhibiting the other.
Yeah.
Assuming there's no two of them there. That leaves Neymar to do all the
heavy lifting.
And I won't put it past him. He's the kind of guy who can single-handedly inspire teams.
Yeah.
He's always an X factor in that regard, Neymar.
He is. Let's not forget, his ability needs no introduction or explanation or any defense. He can tear apart defenses any day. He's good with his set pieces. He's still got the pace, not as electric as we saw him early, let's say 2014, 15. All those years back.
But he's had a few injury issues, but the skill is still there very much.
The skill is very much there. Picked up an injury during the World Cup as well. But again, got fit, got back. It's... See, if it's a 1-0 win, I frankly don't think, with the kind of shaky form that PSG are in at the moment, I think Bayern will have a couple of chances and they are likely to convert. So
correct.
It does look like, for me, I can't say that, PSG will emerge as, as hands down the winners in this particular match. So I think I'll go for a 1-1 maybe.
Interesting. Speaking of luck at the draw, I think the one team who would also be really happy with their luck was Chelsea, because this Dortmund side, no Haaland, their best new young star, Nkunku is not Nkunku. What's his name? Nkunku is I'm forgetting the guy's name. Yusuf. Forgetting his name. Let me just check what his name was. I'm forgetting his name, so I will have to check that out. But he's that 18-year-old striker. 18-year-old striker. Who hasn't, in fact, he will not be available for this particular match. It is Yusuf Moukoko. Yeah, that's how Nkunku. Yusuf Moukoko. He's not available for this match.
French, is he?
Yes, 18 years old, their next big star. not available. And for Dortmund, I think normally
Do we know about Bellingham though? Is he?
Bellingham should be available, I think. He hasn't really been. He's the one who I'd watch out for.
Yeah.
Definitely that person who has the ability to single-handedly change games. But I think if you're looking at the luck of the draw, Chelsea would be reasonably happy. Especially considering the kind of form they've been in recent times. It's been rough watching, and I understand, you've invested a lot of money in a lot of players. It's going to take time for all of them to start gelling and putting things together, but it's been rough. So maybe for Chelsea right now, the short term best thing would be, okay, get past this Dortmund side, try and progress as far as you can. Because of course then you're increasing your prize money, you're increasing your exposure. It's always just better. That is the best case, I think, and a lot of Chelsea fans would agree with me on this, saying that you're not looking realistically at winning the year. But maybe getting a few good performances.
But with Chelsea, I won't write Chelsea off. Always unpredictable. Exactly. And there's something that's happened with Chelsea again, I would say, which is change in manager. It happened both the occasions.
Correct, 2012, 2021 and
both the times that there was a managerial change, Chelsea managed to lift the trophy. And you never know, there has been a managerial change, but
that'll be the only way they can qualify for the Champions League.
Yes, perhaps. There's no other way, because languishing were 10th, 10th in the table at the moment. But again for Chelsea, like Shane said, I think the idea to move forward will be to look at it, game after game, and just
take it one game at a time.
You can't be like, let's say Real Madrid right now, who always have their eyes set on the final.
Trophy, correct.
Yeah, so unlike, let's say, other teams who are high on confidence right now,
Chelsea are definitely
will have
not
to take it slow. But the other teams, since you mentioned about Real Madrid, they've got a good matchup as well against Liverpool.
Yeah, but that's next week. This week, if you're looking at, I think the one fixture which really catches my eye, Milan versus Tottenham. AC Milan, you normally think, they're one of the grandest teams. In fact, if I'm not wrong, the second most successful team in Europe after Real Madrid. But 14 trophies, and the next highest is theirs 7.
Because Bayern have equaled, I guess. Bayern have equaled.
Yeah. But right up there, if you're talking about European
history,
they've won back the Serie A last year around, but have been going through a torrid time domestically. Right now, they are actually struggling. Never mind a title retention, they are struggling to even stay in the top four. Because competition in Italy right now is really strong. You have Napoli who are at the top. Then if you're looking at the other teams, Inter had a resurgence. Lazio under Maurizio Sarri have had a resurgence. Roma with Jose Mourinho have been experiencing a resurgence. So there's a lot going on.
We never mentioned Juve.
And Juve, but Juve, don't forget, 15 point.
It's difficult because they're 10th now in the table.
Exactly. They got a 15-point docking, and don't forget, more points could be docked as the investigation keeps
going.
So if it's found that they've done more, then you couldn't, never mind the Premier League or Champions League spot, you'll be looking at a relegation dog fight, amazingly, for Juve.
Perhaps. Because it is still down to 38 odd points, if I'm not wrong.
38 to 40 points is usually the safety net, you can say, for, survival. But I think they'll be okay in that regard, but again, the 15-point reduction has really scuppered whatever chances they have. In that sense, it's not been a happy last few years for Juventus. But Milan, Tottenham, remember, one of those teams who did spend some money in January. They also brought in Pedro Porro.
Pedro Porro. Well, because many pundits, in fact, saying he wasn't the right person to turn to. Given the debut that he had as well, I think there were a lot of deficiencies that were spotted in his defensive abilities. But again, early days perhaps.
And don't forget, defensive abilities, if you're playing in a three-man defense and you're playing as a wing-back, it's kind of okay just being that person who doesn't necessarily, defend fully. I think with Conte, he's always encouraged more attacking play. Remember, when he was even Chelsea manager, his first choice right wing-back for the whole of his time there was Victor Moses, who's essentially a winger. But he was the one playing right wing because he wanted someone who could overlap, provide from the width. So in that sense, it doesn't really matter. But they've done some spending. Harry Kane has been in really good form. But again, Tottenham are kind of one of those sides.
You never know. But again, they also, just like a Manchester City, I would say.
They blow hot and cold.
They blow hot and cold, and they're unpredictable at times. You never saw, not many would have predicted, let's say, a comfortable Chelsea or a comfortable Spurs win over Man City. But it did turn out to be, again, one of those days when City didn't turn up. So again, with Harry Kane in form, certain things clicking, certain things not clicking, you never just know about Tottenham Hotspur.
Absolutely. You can never tell because they really are one of, in fact, those, unpredictable sides, as you said. They blow hot and cold. In recent times, they've kind of struggled to break down teams. But they have become the kings, you can say, of kind of getting these comeback wins. They'll go one goal down, suddenly discover another goal. But again, tricky, and again, it's a clash really. If you're talking about Milan, Tottenham, two sides who desperately need a win. Even Milan have been going through their own very barren patch. Their best players haven't been playing well. So there's plenty of problems on that side too. So I think interesting match to watch, because again, like the Merseyside derby which happened, you saw two sides who desperately needed a win.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can bring out the best in you.
Like Liverpool would be happy with the kind of performance that they put in.
2-0 against your neighbors. Perfect. What more do you need? But again, as I was saying, you're talking about the big games, Liverpool versus Real. Liverpool. Again, Liverpool-Real is another fixture of two teams who desperately
a final that we saw in recent times.
Yes, very recent times, just last summer. And mind you, that Real side's decline since then has been astonishing to say the least.
Yeah. Of course, and especially after the World Cup, they've been shaky.
They've been sluggish, sluggish. Defensively, they sometimes just happen to have one or two mistakes in there. Their top stars just aren't firing as much. It's a shaky time, uncertain time. Yes, I know.
But again, with Real Madrid and the Champions League, you don't know what side they wake up on.
Exactly. Remember last year they had they had comeback wins in every knockout.
Yeah,
every knockout match, barring the final, they had comeback wins.
Yeah.
So they were operating in another level. Yeah. Sachin Kashyap, by the way, making a very interesting point. Napoli. They've been in flying form this year, and that striker, there's Victor Osimhen. Oof, my goodness, he's been on another level. And Napoli, in fact, right now are topping the Serie A tables as well. They're right up there with the top teams, and Napoli will be taking on. I think he's right, Sachin. That's a good call, because they're taking on Eintracht Frankfurt. Again, not exactly the biggest of teams, but Eintracht are a team that are known to kind of punch above their weight.
At times, but again, looking at how Napoli have really fared up till this point, perhaps Sachin could be right.
Yeah, I think they're definitely the favourites. In fact, as Rohit Roy points out, he's saying that the best match for me, PSG Bayern, and in Europa, Man U versus Barca. You would be keeping an eye on that one.
Of course. We'll be building up to that match as well, but we'll have to wait for that one.
Thursday night. And don't forget, mind you, Thursday is also going to be, if I'm not wrong, there is also City versus Arsenal,
yes.
That will be a massive match. Yeah, that's a Premier League match. Going to be massive, because again, the lead now after this weekend is down to 3 points.
Yeah, but City played an extra game.
True, but I mean, if you have City
level down your neck,
even with a game in hand, as Arsenal, this younger side, you're not going to be that comfortable. City, whatever else said and done, have the know-how of being in the trenches.
I think the testament to that is the fact that the way they turn things around on the final day of last year. That's what a champion team does. They don't, even if they're trailing, they know how to get back.
They'll not throw in the towel.
Yes, they won't throw in the towel. And with Arsenal early days, still I would say, because title credentials, yes, they've done well to remain at the top. But having said that, can they really go all the way? That's the big question at the moment.
And speaking of, since we've been debating for a while, let's just quickly go. And the whole point of this was that we could predict, let's see how right or wrong we were. We'll quickly just call out the matches and let's see who exactly or what we predict. See, PSG Bayern we've done. I'm saying 2-1 to PSG.
1-1.
You said 1-1. Yeah. Milan Tottenham. It's happening in Italy, by the way.
Milan Tottenham. I'll go with Spurs 1-0.
Oh, that's funny. I was going 1-1 in this particular one.
Okay.
Club Brugge versus Benfica. That's your third fixture.
2-0 to Benfica.
2-0 to Benfica, and it's happening in Bruges, by the way. Just remember. Okay, I will say I think this will be a 2-all. I'm expecting some shenanigans because neither of these teams have been. They've been a bit porous. Plus, Benfica have lost their best player.
Yeah.
Dortmund Chelsea. That's in Dortmund, Signal Iduna.
Dortmund Chelsea. Given how I think it'll be 2-1 in favor of Dortmund.
Oh, I was saying 2-0 to Chelsea because I don't expect Dortmund to be getting too many goals. But again, maybe I'm underestimating Bellingham. Then, mother of all battles, Liverpool versus Real at Anfield.
Liverpool versus Real. I think it will possibly end in a draw. So I'll go with 1-1.
I thought the same thing, but I thought they'll score more. So I'm thinking 2-2.
2-2
draw. So these we'll just keep these on stand for these predictions.
Yeah.
In case any of us how right or wrong we are. For Eintracht versus Napoli, that's your 6th game.
I think an easy one for Napoli, maybe 2-0.
I think that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Then Leipzig, Man City, doesn't matter where it's being played. It doesn't.
It doesn't. There's only one winner there.
2-0 to City for me, if that happens. And last match, Inter versus Porto. Sleeper favorite could be this match. But it's happening at the San Siro.
Inter versus Porto. I'm not quite sure how Porto really fared, but I think I'll go with an Inter win because they've been
In
good
recent
form.
times, they've been turning things up
Turning heads,
nicely.
yeah.
And ironically,
Maybe a
Lautaro
1-0
Martinez, the player who we criticized so much during the World Cup, has been in fine form for Inter this year.
Right.
So I think I'll say 2-0 to Inter. So that's our predictions, and of course, we've spoken a lot. So thank you guys for. Oh wait, actually, there's one more comment we can take. Akash Vazwat says that if Mbappe plays, PSG is going to win, otherwise 50-50. I don't think he's playing though, Akash, because his injury had ruled him out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much confirmed.
Also, there's still concerns about Messi's availability.
Yeah, and if
so
Leo
which
is
is
not
why-
playing, then it's a whole different ball game. But that's our predictions. That's where we think teams stand. And again, believe you me, lots to talk about because so much has changed. So much has changed since the time the knockouts ended versus when the group stage ended versus when the knockouts are starting. We'll see how right or wrong we are. Thank you guys for joining us though for this show. Again, we hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, like, share, subscribe. You can also tap the bell icon, leave us a comment in case we missed yours, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also download the AajTak app. You'll get all of the best Champions League, you'll get highlight videos, you'll get news, views, opinions, whatever it is you need on the app. So download it if you haven't already. Right now though, on behalf of Harshit and me, Shane, bye bye. We'll see you soon for the dugout.